Hello. Today I'm going to be reading Beware the Fat Cat, a story about maybe you should be careful about just how big you dream. Book, come now, come. Beware the Fat Cat. The pain slowly spread across my consciousness. Wincing, trying to make sense of everything. What happened? Trying to open my eyes, but the light was too bright. Squeezing them back shut, I groaned. A wave of nausea rolled over me. Scrubbing my hands down my face, it felt wet, almost sticky. The smell of copper floated up to my nostrils, making my stomach roll all over again. Fear and dread settling into my gut. I forced an eye open, looking down at my hand. The crimson color was a stark contrast to my pale skin. Bolting upright, I scanned my surroundings quickly. The nearest window caught my attention. The panic welled up higher as the scenery whipped by. Surveying the empty train car, trash littered the floor. Graffiti covered the walls from top to bottom. At the front of the car, a train legend gave me a flutter of hope. What track was I on? The last thing I remember was walking to the market. That can't be right, though. It was dusk then. The sun is high in the sky right now. Panic came booming into my chest, closing off my throat, and ragged gasps forced their way out of my lips. I can't read this map. The words, none of it makes any sense. Where the fuck am I? A sob broke free as I tried to calm myself. Remember what Dr. Gavin said. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Smell the flowers, and blow out the birthday candles. After a few moments, my breathing returned to normal. The door of the next car looked as though it didn't belong on this old busted train. It was clean, with no sign of dirt, broken glass, or graffiti. A small green post-it note hung on the door. Red Rover, send Reese over. What in the actual fuck? Ripping the note off, there's no way I got drunk and got on the wrong train. Looking around the cart again, I searched for something that could be a weapon, anything. Hell, even a paperclip could do in a pinch, right? Wrapping newspaper on a shard of broken glass, I opened the door and walked through. As soon as I cleared the threshold, the door slammed into place behind me. The click of the latch ran out, impossibly loud. The lights in this car didn't work, and most of the windows were boarded up. I tried to open the door to let light in from the car. However, the door didn't budge. Out of the frying pan and into the fire I go. Turning my back to the door, okay, one step at a time. My heart hammering in my ears was almost deafening. I strained to hear something, anything in the dark car. Walking past one row of seats, smell the flowers, blow out the birthday candles. Smell the flowers, blow out the birthday candles. Past the second row of seats, a soft catches my attention. Squinting, it looks like a person sitting by one of the boarded up windows. It's hard to tell, but working up the courage to take 3 more steps, I craned forward to see the outline of a person in a suit. It's dirty, rumpled, and torn in many places. I can't see the face of the person sitting there. If I didn't know better, I would think it looks like a mascot head. Slowly, reaching out my hand, I reach for the head. In the blink of an eye, the head snaps towards me. Screaming, reacting out of instinct, I punched it. The head, snapping back, hit the large board over the window. The person let out another groan before the head sagged forward. Falling on my ass, panic takes over again. Rocking back and forth, I repeat my mantra. Breathe in the flowers and blow out the birthday candles. Moving to my knees, I peer over at the figure again. Gasping loudly, I notice the zip ties, fastening their hands to the armrest. Oh shit. Crawling over, I inspected the seemingly unconscious man. The snake mask he wore was twisted a little. A shrill ping rang out across the car, followed by a few seconds of static. Good afternoon, Reese, the automatic voice said flatly. Lightheadedness flooded my senses as I looked around the car. There's no use looking too hard. I'm not on the train with you. I see you are curious about my little snakes. But you should be careful. You never know what is under there. The voice continued, followed by a clink. The speaker had turned off again. Standing up, I removed the snake mask. Sucking in a breath, I looked down at the unconscious form of Tegan. "Oh, shit," I muttered, covering my mouth. "This is bad. Like, bad." Peering around the cart, I ran up the aisle looking for another person. A jerky movement in front of the car spurred me forward. The man fought against the ties holding him down. "Hold on, I'm coming. I'll help you." Pulling off the mask, Tate's face was bruised and swollen. A cut marked the side of his cheek. When his eyes met mine, a fire ignited in them. Bucking harder, a foot shot out and struck me in the gut. Air rushing from my lungs, I slammed into the wall, sliding down to the ground gasping, folding my arms around my middle. A familiar shrill ping rang out with static. "I told you to be careful of snakes. They are everywhere. And you don't even know it. You convinced these men to help you. You're the reason they are on the train." Wide-eyed, my gaze met Tate's. "I'll kill you, you bitch. You told me this was safe. It was going to be okay," he screamed, voice cracking and bucking against the zip ties. With a fierce yank, his left arm broke free. Reaching forward, he tried to grab me. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Tate. I never meant for any of this to happen." Tears falling down my face, I retreated from the man towards the next door. If he broke free, I'm not sure if I would be conscious much longer. I never meant to hurt anybody. I just wanted to do the right thing. Snatching the yellow post-it off the door, I ran through, closing behind me with a clink. I breathed a sigh of relief. Giving the door a jiggle to ensure it was locked, a loud boom rang through with another scream. I could hear Tate banging on the door, screaming. Relaxing against the door, I peered down at the post-it note. The handwriting was the same as before. "Reese, a party for one would just be sad." A stab of panic hits me in the chest, my heart falling into my stomach. Looking around the car, the natural light poured into the broken windows. My eyes tracked up the row of busted seats. 14 heads sat in various seats around the car, with 22 seats remaining empty. I didn't need to look at the faces to know who they were. 5 floral crowns adorned the heads of the women, and 9 men with crowns of leaves. Holding my breath, I waited for my friends to move, sigh, grunt, anything. No movement came. Creeping up, I peeked around to look at the first face. Lincoln looked like he was resting peacefully. The steady rise and fall of his chest gave me hope. Ping. "Your faithful subjects are not going to be waking up anytime soon. What would a queen be without her faithful courtesans with her?" the voice said. "Your fairy eco-warriors cost me $100 million every day you halted the railroad progress. Hiding in trees, having picnics. I hate to break it to you, Reese, but the railroad will be finished. All you did was hurt those close to you. Do you think they will be happy when they wake up?" "Oh, my bad. If they wake up?" "What do you mean, if they wake up?" I howled, looking for a camera, walking up the middle aisle, checking on every one of them. I watched the rise and fall. At least they are alive. That's a start. Not much, but I'll take it. I can't think of one good way this will end for me. For us. "It was my idea. All of it," I said, defeated, sinking into one of those seats, pushing the hair out of Casey's eyes. "I thought we would make a difference. Save the forest. Keep the earth beautiful for the next generation." Salty tears raced down my face, leaving a burning trail in their wake. The Fairy Act was Cody's idea. He said it would make us blow up on social media, add a little pizzazz for the cause. "Hayden introduced me to the workers at your office. Tate and Tegan, they wanted to help, but they were so scared you would find out they talked to me." Wiping my eyes on my dirty sleeves, I walked to the door. "You have proved your point. We won't mess with the progress of the railroad." Plucking the red post-it note from the door, my brows wrinkled in confusion. "Get ready for the final act, Tatiana." Passing the threshold, the familiar clink sounded on the door. This train car was empty, except for a table in the center. Folded up for me was my Tatiana costume, complete with crown and shoes. I shouldn't be surprised. Whoever set up the Scarefest knows where I live, and broke in. Ping. "The next door will not open till you're dressed. Better hurry, Reese. I would hate for you to miss the next part." The speaker clicked off. What are you, some kind of sick pervert wanting to watch people undress? Well, fuck that, speaker guy, I shouted, pulling the dress over my ruined clothes, lacing up my slippers, and forcing the crown into my matted hair. I stepped up to the door. Click, the lock sounded and the door opened. Taking a deep breath, ready to meet whatever fate gets tossed at me, I squeezed my eyes shut and opened the door. This time, when I stepped into the room, the door doesn't lock behind me. That must be a good sign, right? This nightmare must be almost over. I swear to God, nothing Speaker Man gave my friends better be permanent. This cabin was almost in total darkness. Spreading my arms wide, I spun in a circle. Ping. Did you know that the railroad was going to connect routes 115 and 477? Since it was never finished, this connection is going to end in a canyon. We are 15 months behind, thanks to your antics. A light turned on to my left, illuminating a large poster. You're speeding down the hillside at 150 miles an hour. Do you know what happens to a person that comes to an abrupt stop at 150 miles an hour? The voice inquired, waiting for a reply. Violent sobs wrecked my chest, full-blown panic swirling around me. Don't worry too much, Tatiana. Oberon is waiting for you. At that, the light in the next room clicked on. Bound in a chair facing me was Darren. His eyes wide in panic. Screaming, he tried to scoot the chair forward. Spray painted across the glass, it read, Little mouse, don't mess with a fat cat. Running to the door, I tried to pull it open. It didn't budge. Screaming, I beat on the glass, trying to break it until blood smeared the surface. It's okay, Darren. Hold on, I'm coming in. I swear to God, I'm... The words died in my throat. As I saw the end of the line approaching quickly, color draining from my face, I vomited down the front of the dress. What? What is it? What's happening? Darren pleaded, hoping I had answers. I love you so much, I whispered, as the train left the rails, lifting my body into the air as the train free fell into the ravine. Tonight, on VBC News, the self-proclaimed fairy activist group hijacks a train, ending in tragedy. No survivors were found at the crash. Stay tuned for weather at 6. You know, they always tell you to dream big, but perhaps sometimes it's just better to stay small. Until next time, happy hauntings.